Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to talk about how can we call a web API using PHP. So at first, let's try with this website, IT Books Info API. IT Books Info API. This website is responsible for some information about books. So you can get a lot of IT books about Java, C Sharp, and so on. This website, they have an API. This API retrieves a JSON, and as you remember in the previous videos, we have talked about JSON and how can we use JSON encoding and JSON decoding for both JSON object and JSON array. So if we go to this website and here click on search, we will get a JSON object which contains a lot of books about PHP MySQL. Let's try, for example, something like HTML. As you can see here, you will get a lot of books about HTML. So this JSON object has a lot of attributes like error, time, total, page, and one of those attributes is books. The books is an attribute which has a JSON array. So inside this JSON object, we have here a JSON array called books, which has a lot of information about books like ID, title, image, and so on. Let's suppose that I need to retrieve all the titles to my PHP file with their images. In this case, let's go to NetBeans and let's add a new PHP. Right click, new PHP web page, and let's call it Books Web API. And inside this Book Web API, I'm going to copy this line. Copy the URL of the web API, and here let's start coding. At first, we need a variable called URL to store the link of this web API. Okay? Then, the second thing is to create an object of the function CURL in it. The CURL, which stands for call URL or client URL, this function is used to call a remote web API or a remote URL. So in this case, you need to give them the variable URL, and the result will be stored here in the C. Then the next line is to use this function, which is CURL underscore setOpt. This setOpt is used to make some setting for the object C. So in this case, we are going to put here C, which is the name of the object, which we'll call the URL. Then we need this option, CURL opt return transfer. Yes, this one, and give them the value of 1. This line means this API will retrieve a data using the object C. Now, the last thing is to define a variable to store the returning JSON, J equal CURL exec with the object C. Now, let's try to echo this variable J. So, at first, we define the URL, then we call this URL using the CURL init function. Then we have add some option which is return transfer as true. So this function will retrieve data. And we have stored this data in the variable J as a JSON format. Let's try this one. Right click, run file. Okay, yes, as you can see, we have got the same JSON which is here. Okay, now how can we reach the books array? In this case, at first, before printing J, we need to using the JSON decoding, which we have talked about in the previous video. So in this case, JSON decode for the J as an array, which means convert this JSON to array. Now, let's suppose we need to print the books of this array. In this case, for x equal 0 till x less than count AR books. But it is case sensitive. Let's check for B. Yes, the B should be capital. And then x plus plus, which means make loop from 0 to the number of books. Now here, if we need to print the book name, we are going to use something like AR books X and the title of the book. Where is the title of the book? If we go here, inside the book array, we have something called title, which is the book name. So let's save. Let's add here some break line. Again, save. Let's refresh our page. Yes, as you can see here, we have got the book names from this website. Let's also add the photo of the cover book. So where is the attribute image? We have an attribute called image. Yes, this one. This image attribute has the URL of the photo of this book. So in this case, we are going to use the img src equal, and let's add something like AR books X, but of course this is not title, it is image. And then here is the close. Don't forget to make some space here between the double quotation and this line, because it will add the name of the image to this forward slash. Okay, now again, let's add a break line, save. Let's refresh, of course, this one. Yes, as you can see here, we have got the books and the cover of the book. Okay, so in this video, we have talked about how can we call a web API using the CURL in it, and how can we convert the JSON of this web API so we can print them on the PHP file. So see you in the next video.